Hello everyone, welcome back. Guys, in this video we'll talk about Jshell or Java Shell tool. So this video is a complete guide to understand Java Shell. So I will explain what exactly Jshell is, what is the intention behind introducing Java Shell in Java 9, and how Java Shell can be used by a developer to try out different things in Java. Alright guys, that being said, let's begin the video. Alright guys, so I will be using the official guide from Oracle to make you understand or to make you familiar with the Jshell. So we'll talk about introduction to Jshell. Okay, then we'll see the chapter 2. We'll talk about the code snips. So basically we'll try out different Java codes, right? We'll see how can we change the definitions, like how can we go and modify the existing code. We'll talk about forward references, how to deal with the exceptions, and then we'll talk about the tab completion of snips, and then snipped transformation. In chapter 3 we'll talk about the commands, different commands that we can use in Jshell. We'll also see that how can we use tab key to complete the commands. Okay, and we'll talk about few command abbreviations. Then in next chapter, editing, we'll talk about the inline navigation, history navigation, search, and more. So this is very important, where you can go and search for a particular variable or particular function in the Jshell. And then finally we'll talk about the external editor. Okay, then in chapter 5, external code, where we'll see how can we set a class path so that we can import existing code into Jshell. We'll also talk about the setting up module options. Then we'll talk about the different feedback modes, like how can we go and set a feedback mode, how can we go and create a custom feedback mode. Then in the last chapter we'll talk about the different scripts. So we'll talk about the startup scripts, and we can see how can we create your own script and how can we load existing scripts into Jshell. Alright guys, so this is all about the points that we are going to cover in this video. Alright guys, chapter 1, introduction to Jshell. Alright guys, Jshell is an interactive tool for learning Java programming and prototyping Java code. It was introduced in JDK 9. Jshell is a REPL tool. What does it mean? Basically, you start typing your code or your statements and you will get the result immediately. Okay, and this tool can be used from command line. You have to go to command prompt and just type the command Jshell. What it says, welcome to Jshell and here is my Java version. So basically I have installed JDK 20 on my machine. Okay, to run Jshell command on your command prompt, you need to set the Java class path. If it is not there, you have to go to C, program files, Java, JDK, go to bin directory and look for jshell.exe. Let's double click on this one and it will start Jshell for you guys. Okay, so it's better to set the class path so that you can directly use Jshell from your command prompt. Okay, now guys, there are different feedback modes or different modes that we can use to start Jshell. So when I type Jshell, it starts Jshell in the normal mode. There is a verbose as well. So if I type Jshell-V, it will start Jshell in verbose mode. Okay, and to exit out of Jshell, you type the command /exit. So I was saying that if you want to start Jshell in verbose mode, you type Jshell-V. What does it mean? I'll explain in a minute. Okay guys, so we are done with chapter 1. Now let's move to the chapter 2, snips. Alright guys, so let's see how can we write code. Okay, let's go and create integer variable, integer x equals to 45. What it says, x is holding 45. But guys, what do you see here? There is some more description as well. So let me just switch to the verbose mode. So I'll just exit out of normal mode and I will run Jshell in -v verbose mode. Okay, let me just integer x equals to 45. What it says, x is holding a value 45. Then there's a message or a description, created variable x of type integer. Similarly, I can create s equals to hello. What it says, s is holding value hello, created variable s of type string. Okay, now guys, here if you see, if you come down, we have to look at what exactly is scratch variable. So guys, in this example we have used x is holding 45 and s is holding a string. But what if we don't declare any variable? For example, if I execute an expression 2 plus 2, so what it says, there's a $3 and then it says that it is holding value 4. Okay, what it says, the description is created scratch variable. Basically there was no variable to hold the output of this expression, right? So Jshell, it automatically creates a scratch variable. See, that variable will start with the $. Okay, say for example 5 into 5, it says $4, created scratch variable $4 and of type integer. Okay, now guys, next thing is how can we create a function? How can we write a function to try out something in Jshell? So what I will do, I will be implementing the same function as mentioned in this guide itself, but you can write your own as well. Okay, so I'm going to create a function string and name is twice. I'm passing a string value s, then curly bracket, and I can do like return s plus, let me add some space here, plus s, and I will close this one. what it says, created method twice and it is taking one parameter of type string. Okay, similarly I can create another string like integer add. I'll just type to a comma integer b and curly braces, return a plus b and closing parenthesis, right? What it says, created method name is add and it is taking two arguments. So this is my method signature, integer. Okay, now how can I call this function to try out something, right? So for example, I want to invoke the function called add, and I want to pass 5, 5. Let's see the output. What it says, $7, again it's a scratch variable, created scratch variable $7 and it is holding a value of type integer. Okay, if I have to call this function called twice, what I can do is twice and I will pass a string value, enter. What it says, $8 is holding Trishan space Trishan, created scratch variable $8 and it is holding of type value string. Basically this variable type is string. Okay, now guys, next is changing definitions. So what does it mean? It means just in case if you have to go and modify the function. I want to change the implementation of add function. So integer add integer a comma integer b. What I want to do is, let me just first print system.out.println. I want to print a equals to plus a, b equals to plus b. Okay, and I want to introduce one more. Let's call it integer sum equals to a plus b and return curly braces. What it says that we have modified the method add and then here's the method signature, right? So basically there's a way we can update the implementation of an existing function in Jshell itself, right? The only thing which you have to keep in mind that the method signature should remain same, but in case if you change the method implementation, it means that you're going to write a new function. For example, okay, let me first just call this new add function 5, 5. What it says, a is equals to 5, b is equals to 5 and I see the result here, right? Now I'm going to change the method signature of add function, integer a comma integer b comma integer c. Now I'm going to sum three numbers a plus b plus c and close. So what do you see? Created method add. So this is the method signature. So basically we have changed the method signature, so it's a new function. In case if I have to call this function, I'll pass 5, 5, 5. I see the result 15. Next is changing the level of feedback that we'll discuss in chapter 6. Let's move. Now let's talk about the forward references. So what exactly forward references in Jshell? Okay guys, so forward reference, right? What does it mean? It means that we can use some function or the variable without even defining them. Okay, let me give this example. So first of all, let me clear the cell. So I'm using Ctrl L to clean the cell window. Okay, now I'm going to make use of the same example which is here on my screen. So double, the function name is volume. Okay, I'm passing a parameter of type double, it's called radius. Okay, and then return. So basically this function is to calculate, let me just do a sys out here. Okay, then return. So I'm writing the formula 4.0 divided by 3.0 into pi. So pi is a constant which we haven't declared, which I will declare later in future. Okay, into I'm calling a function called cube and I'm passing the radius, and let me close. What do you see here? We don't have the pi, we don't have the cube itself. So let's see how the system behaves. It says created method volume, which is taking of argument double. So this is my method signature. However, it cannot be invoked. We can't make use of this particular function. We can't call it until variable pi and method cube are declared. Okay, so this is called forward references. We are yet to declare this pi and this cube function, but we have used them, right, even before declaring them, right? So I'm going to call the function volume. I can hit the tab key to prompt volume and then I'm passing radius 5 or maybe say 5.0, hit enter. What it says, attempted to call method volume which cannot be invoked until variable pi and method cube are declared. I hope this is clear. We can declare a function with the forward references, but we cannot use that function. Okay, so we have to go and declare pi first. Okay, double of pi of type double equals to, I'll pass some value like 3.15, whatever, you can put the right value from the Google, hit enter. So basically now we have got pi. Can I call the volume now? I'm using arrow key, up and down arrow to get my previous command. I'm calling volume 5.0. What it says, attempted to call method volume which cannot be invoked until method cube is declared. Now if you remember last time, it says that we cannot invoked until we have variable pi and method cube, but now we have defined the variable pi here, right? So now we have to go and create the function cube as well. Okay, so what I will do, double and I'm calling this function cube. Again, it is taking a value of type double only, double. I'll just pass r, which is the radius, and I want to return cube of radius. So multiply 3 times and then close. Okay, so now what it says, created method cube. Okay, here's method signature and updated modified method volume. So basically, because in volume we were using, let me just make it big if I can. Okay, here let me just scroll up. So in method volume right here we were using cube, so it says that it updated the reference as well in this function called volume. Okay, now let me just go and call volume. So what I will do, volume, I'll pass 5 or say 5.0. What it says, calculated the volume of sphere. $86 is a scratch variable, and here is the value of the volume. I hope forward reference is clear. So basically we can use forward references, but we cannot call the function. We'll get an error or a message saying that we can't call until we define those forward references. Okay. All right. Next we'll talk about the exceptions. So let me just write the function and then I will explain the concept of the exception here, right? So writing a function integer divide, obviously I'm going to pass two arguments, x comma y, and let's make it very simple, return x divided by y and closing parenthesis. What it says, that created method divide. Let me call this function divide. I'm passing 5 comma 0. What it says, there is an exception and the type of the exception is arithmetic exception divide by 0. But where exactly the exception is? So the exception is at divide hash is the ID 19 and line number 2. Okay, you can see here. So the location within the code entered into Jshell is displayed as hash ID and then line number. Where can I see the IDs? So for that we have to run a command called slash and then list. What do you see? Now you see these IDs, number 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? So if you look at the error, the exception was at ID 19 row 2. Scroll down. So here is 19. So this is the ID number 19 and row 2. So this is the point where we are having the exception. All right. Next is tab completion for snips. What does it mean? So basically, as soon as you start typing, you can hit the tab key and it will start prompting the suggestions. Okay, so for example, let's say I want to, let me just first clean this window. So I'm using Control L to clean the command prompt. I want to call the method which you defined earlier, cube, right? So I'm typing C, U and hitting tab. See, it prompted rest of the function cube for, and here is the output. There was another function called twice. So I'm typing TW, hit tab. So here I'll type hello, right? Similarly, I'm typing an string here, Trishan and dot. So if I use like start and hit tab key, this starts giving me the rest of the function starts with. And if I do dot to and u, it gives two uppercase. And if I simply type dot and then hit tab, it gives the rest of the things, right? That what all we can do with this particular value, right? So for example, if I have to do to uppercase call, so here I can see the result. If I use to, what it says that I can use two character array, two lowercase, two string and two uppercase. So if I type to and then L, it will automatically prompt. So this is called tab completion. All right, what is next? Next is snip transformation. All right guys, so this is very important guys. So what you can do is, if you have to import something, you can use shift plus tab and then I key to import class. Similarly, you can use shift tab and V to create a variable and shift plus tab and M to create a function. Let me give you an example. Okay, what I will do, I'll first clean this window. Now guys, I'm going to create a frame object, JFrame. Now I have to import this particular class, right? So what I can do is shift tab and I. 0, do nothing. 1 is to import type 1. It says imported javax.swing.jframe imported, right? Next is, for example, I'm creating a string, right? New string, let me just call it Trishan, right? So I need to have a variable, right, to store this particular string object. So what I will do, shift tab V, and here I can type the variable, say s1. If I type s1, it will give me the value, right? But what are the other options that we can have? So if I use shift and tab, so guys, what do you see? It says that after shift or tab, what you can do, we can use I for auto import, V for variable creation that we have seen, and M for method creation. Okay, so guys, we are done with the chapter 2 as well. Now chapter 3. Here we'll talk about the commands. We'll talk about the how can we use tab key to complete the commands. Okay, and then command abbreviations. In Jshell, wherever you see a slash, it means we are going to type a Jshell command. Okay, for example, you want to see all the variables, type /var. So it will give you all the variables that we have created so far. And if you want to see all the methods, you type slash and hit methods. Similarly, you can type slash list, hit slash and hit tab key. It will give you the different options that you can use with the, if you want to see all the imports, you can use slash imports. Slash list we have seen, methods we have seen. We'll talk about open and reload in few minutes. We'll see save as well. Okay, for example, I want to see the history of all the commands, whatever I've done so far, so that I can see here. If I use slash import, what exactly happens? It will give you all the imports. Okay, next is command abbreviations, basically shortcuts. Say for example, if I use slash and if I type L, hit tab, I know that starting with L there is only one command, it's called slash list. So by default it gives you that option. List, what I can do is I can type slash dash all. Now I know that there is only one command with the L, there is only one option available with the character A, so I can use slash L dash A, right? Similarly, for set we have got multiple commands. F is for the feedback and V is for the verbose mode. Let me just do this one, set, and then if I see feedback starting with V, there is only one value, right? Let me just do this. It says that feedback mode changed to verbose. There is a shortcut for this one, set, FE and V. Feedback mode changed to verbose. Alright, so that's all about chapter 3. Now next is editing. Go through it, like it's very easy. You can use combination of keys like Control A, Control E, Alt P and F to do the navigation and the editing. But the important thing here is this search option that I want to talk about. Okay, so let me show you how exactly search works here. So I'll just go back to the command prompt again. Now say for example, I want to look for the keyword that I've used called Trishan, or say cube, right? The references of the cube function, where exactly I've used, or the last instance of cube, right? So for that I'm going to use the key here is Control R. Control R, you start typing. For example, I'm looking for the function cube. So last time when I invoked cube, right? But I want to go where we have the implementation of cube function. So what I can do, I'm going to hit Control R again one more time, Control R. So here is the implementation. So basically when you use Control R, it will keep going backward, right? It will just take it to the all the instances where we had cube. So I can see here we have got the cube implementation. So if I use Control R, I'm going backward, but if I have to go forward, I'll use Control then S. Okay, so here is the implementation of cube. If I do one more time, it will take me to the point where we have invoked the cube function. So similarly, for example, I can search Control R and I can start typing Trishan. So we have used only once Trishan, right? Let me just do it one more time, Control R. If I use anywhere else, to uppercase also we have used. So in function twice also we have passed Trishan as argument, right? So Control R to go to the backward, Control S to move forward. Alright guys, next is external editor. So guys, this comes into picture when you want to edit your code in an external editor, right? So you can set the editor by using /set editor and then name of your editor. Okay, let me show you how exactly it works. I want to edit the volume function, right? So what I will do, /ed, or I can type edit and then I'm typing the function that I want to edit, volume, hit enter. What it does, it basically opens its inbuilt editor, right? This inbuilt editor comes from Jshell, and if I have to update, I can just do here where radius is equals to plus radius, and to cancel or to accept the changes, we have got buttons. Click on accept, click on exit. Now what do you see here? It says that we have modified the function volume. Let me just call volume, I'll pass radius and hit enter. What it says, calculate the volume of sphere where radius is 5.5, right? So basically we have used the inbuilt editor that comes with Jshell. If you want to specify your own editor, you can try out this option /set/editor and then name of the editor. Alright guys, we are done with the chapter 4. Alright, next chapter is external code. So basically how can we access external classes or the project into Jshell? So the very first way is we can set up the class path by running the command Jshell -- class path and then path where we have got our project, and then we can import the package. Same can be done by using the environment variables /env and this is the class path where we have the Java project, right? In the exact same fashion, we can also set up the module as well. So the command is Jshell -- module path of the module, and then add module and then specify the module name. Same can be done by using the /env command as well. So basically it will update the values into the environment variables. Here what I will do, I will just make use of an existing Java class and I will show you how can I import that existing Java class into Jshell and then I can play with that. Okay, so what I will do, I'll go back to the command prompt. Guys, there's a command called open to open an external file and I have to specify the path, right? So on my desktop I've got a Java class called test.java. Hit enter. I don't see anything. So now guys, to see the content of this Java class, I have to type /list command and then here I can see I'll go to my class. There's a main function. There's one static function called say hello, and there's one non-static function called say bye. Now, how can I call these functions? How can I test these functions? So what I will do to call the main, I'm going to use main new string, okay, because string args is basically an array of string type values, right? So I'm passing this guy and hit enter. I'll see hello main. Now guys, test dot, and I'm going to hit tab. It will prompt the function say hello. Now guys, because say hello is a static function, so I can call that by using the class name itself. Okay, how about a non-static function? So I have to obviously create the object new test dot say bye, and I have to pass name Trishan. Hit enter. It says bye bye Trishan, right? So basically this is how we can open or import an existing file, an external Java file, into the Jshell, right? And then we can test the functions as well. Now just in case if you have to edit the class, slash ed, like edit command, and then I have to pass the id. So if you see here, the id for this particular class is 1. Okay, so I'm typing 1 here, hit enter. Guys, here I can see the class test. Here is the implementation. So I'm going to make some changes. Hello, I am main function, and I will simply accept the changes. Exit. It says that we have modified the class test. Can I again test the main function just to make sure that we have the changes in place? New string and then 0, close, hit enter. I can see here the new implementation. Hello, I am main function. Okay, so guys, this next chapter is feedback modes. So guys, feedback modes, basically it decides what you see on the screen, right? Basically the prompt, feedback, and the other interactions within Jshell. Okay, so guys, we have got 4 feedback modes. We have already seen the verbose mode, like we have started our Jshell by using the command jshell-v, right? So that is the one mode. We have got normal, concise, and silent as well. Okay, so let's talk about each one. So guys, to set the mode, there is a command. So I'm using slash set. I want to change the feedback mode to verbose. So current feedback mode is verbose. Okay, so what does it mean? It means like whenever we do something, for example, I'm running this expression 2 plus 2, I see the value, okay, 4, and then I see a description as well. Created scratch variable $7 of type integer, right? So this is because of the verbose mode, it gives a description as well, right? Now, for example, if I have to go and change it to silent, so set and then feedback mode to silent. See what happens. I'm typing 2 plus 2. It doesn't say anything. Okay. Now let's go and set it to normal. Set feedback mode to normal. And if I run the same expression 2 plus 2, what do I see? I just see the result. I don't see the description. Okay. And just in case of concise, let's see how it behaves. Slash set feedback mode concise, and then I'm using same 2 plus 2 expression. I see the result. 2 plus 2 equals to 4. If I type set and then type feedback, it says that current feedback mode is concise, and these are the different or the available modes, right? So I'll switch to verbose. Set feedback mode to verbose. Now guys, here in Jshell, what we can do is we can define our own mode, custom feedback mode. Okay, so for that we have to run a command set mode. Try it out is my mode. Okay, so guys, we can't modify the predefined modes. Like what we can do is we can create a copy of the existing mode, and then we can add on something on top of that. Okay, so what exactly I'm doing here is that we are setting up a new mode. I'm calling it try it out mode. So it's a copy of the normal mode and then dash command option. It says a feedback. Okay, so now it says that created new feedback mode, name is try it out mode. Okay, now if I have to change this mode to set feedback try it out mode, okay, we have changed, but I don't see anything. Can we change the prompt as well? It is still pointing to Jshell. Can we change the prompt as well, right? So how can we do that? So to set the prompt, there is a command slash set prompt. Where exactly do you want to change the prompt? So you have to specify the feedback mode name, and then what exactly do you want to see? Slash n, and let's call it try it out colon, hit enter. It says unexpected. Okay, it's not here. Enter, right? You set the prompt. Now guys, if you see here, the prompt has been changed to try it out. If I do something like integer b equals to 10 and I want to see the feedback mode, so feedback mode currently we are using try it out, right? The point is basically we can create custom feedback mode. Okay, so that's all about chapter 6. Now in the next chapter we'll talk about the scripts. Guys, what exactly is scripts? Basically a set of commands, right? That's all. So scripts can be in a local file or maybe the predefined. Jshell comes with 4 different predefined set of scripts. First one is default. So this includes commonly needed import declaration, and this is used when there is no other startup script is defined. Okay. Java SE is another script. It imports the core Java SE API defined by java.se module. Next script is printing. So it defines Jshell methods that redirect to the print, println and printf methods in print stream. Tooling is another script. It defines Jshell methods accessing JDK tools, for example, JavaC or JavaDoc and JavaP. Okay. Now first of all, let's talk about the startup scripts. So basically whenever we start the command, basically it loads the default script which has got the basic imports that we need to have. And so let me do one thing. Okay, I'll first change to set feedback mode to verbose. Okay, and then clean. How can I see the startup script? /list dash start. What do I see? Some basic imports. Now is I can set my own startup script. Like there is a command called /set. Then you type start and then you give it my start.jsh. But as of now, I don't have this file. Let's see how it behaves. It says that it's not found. Okay, understood. Now next thing is creating and loading a script. How can I create a class here? Class, say hello, close, and I'll get one more public. I'm just writing some random code. Okay, so we have got the class, but how can I save this class? So to save this particular class or any code snippet, there's a command /save and then you give it a name. So for example, I'll call it hello dot save java. Saved. How can I verify? Like /open and then hello.java. How can I see the content list? Here I can see. If you want to save the history somewhere, you type here save dash history is the command. Basically, I want to save my history dot jss is java cell. So it will save all the history in this file. Okay. Alright guys, so in this video, I believe we have covered the entire Jshell guide with the examples. In case if you have any doubt, just let me know in the comment section. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe and share the channel. Thank you again.